So there's a growing consensus that Carmelo Anthony should head his way to the Houston Rockets. Chris Paul has been championing for him to go there. Everybody's saying that's the perfect place to go. You can compete for a title. My response to that is absolutely not. He has history with Mike D'Antoni. That's not going to change. If you guys don't recall, Mike D'Antoni quit on the Knicks while Carmelo Anthony was a franchise player there. Number two, the Rockets aren't a lock to get to the championship anymore. They lost Luke Mashard Mbute, one of the defenders, and they also lost Trevor Ariza, one of their defenders, one of their knockdown three-point shooters. So that not only opens up unrealistic expectations for Carmelo Anthony to come in to perform at a high clip, but it's also putting pressure on James Harden and CP3 to be healthy, and number two, to perform at a high clip. And you saw in that Golden State Warriors series, a lot of times they wouldn't play great together. One time James Harden would play great, the other time Chris Paul would play great, but they never were together in tandem busting ass. Never. Never, ever, ever, ever. So for you to say that, okay, bring Carmelo Anthony into the fold, we have to get him to buy into defense, we got to get him to buy into this. He has to buy into the coach, first of all, and he has history with that coach. If I'm Melo, no way, because basically what's going to happen is he's going to get blackballed out of the league. They're basically trying to Allen Iverson Carmelo Anthony. And if Melo's smart, he'll go to LA. It has nothing to do with playing with LeBron or competing for championships right away. All it has to do with right now is basically going to a place where you're not expected to lead the team to anything right away. The Lakers are like one season away from really being true contenders. Even then, their title odds are like third in the NBA or whatever the case is, like 7-2. So Melo's not gonna have a lot of pressure to come in there and do something big. He goes to Houston. Not only he's gonna have the pressure of the Houston fans, he's gonna have the pressure of mending relationships with Mike D'Antoni. He's gonna have the pressure of CP3 recruiting him to go there. He's going to have the pressure of, what if CP3 gets hurt and it's just me and James Harden? He's going to have the pressure of, we need to beat the Golden State Warriors this year. It's too much pressure for him to go there, and if he doesn't perform at a high clip, what's that say? He was already paired with Paul George and Russell Westbrook. They got knocked out the first round. If this Houston team gets knocked out the first round or the semis, that would be 100% detrimental to Carmelo Anthony's career. They will blame the whole thing on Carmelo Anthony right off the rip. There's no way that he should sign with the Houston Rockets. Unless they fire the coach, because Mike D'Antoni, he has a propensity to quit. He quit on the Lakers. He quit on the Knicks. If things go sour with Houston, he might quit on them. But the thing is, the history between them, there's no mutual respect there. They'll have to rebuild that respect, but also they'll have to come into the situation, let everybody know we don't expect to win a title this year. You can't say that to Houston fans. They were just in the Western Conference Finals. They went to Game 7 against the defending NBA champions. You cannot say we can't win a title this year. So that's why he shouldn't go there. He should go to LA. He could play with LeBron 1 year, and then the next year they could recruit either Clay or whoever the case is they want to recruit, Kawhi Leonard, if they possibly could get him. Kawhi, LeBron, and Melo, beautiful. That's a match made in heaven. You got two guys that can play good, solid defense, and you got Melo who can rebound and shoot the ball, space the floor. So, you bring Melo in Houston, is he going to buy into the defense? Why would he buy into the defense? That team doesn't play defense. I mean, at times, I'll say this, in the Western Conference Finals, they played some physical defense, but it wasn't like a consistent defensive effort throughout, because you saw in Game 7, when they was getting demoralized, when Steph Curry was hitting threes and all this other stuff, they didn't play any defense at that point. It was just like, all right, you know what? We about to lose on our home court. They folded. They packed it in, basically. They got smoked. They went back to shooting a bunch of threes. And that system, I don't like that system because it doesn't suit the personnel really in terms of like, I'm going to give you an example why it doesn't. Stephen A. Smith said the Rockets don't do anything better than the Warriors. That came to fruition in Game 7 and in Game 6. Rockets were shooting a whole bunch of threes. They had double-digit leads in both games, 6 and 7. But what happens? The cream rises to the top. And the cream was the Golden State Warriors, and they started knocking down all their shots, and the Rockets weren't hitting theirs. So you can't come in there with a gimmick and think you're going to beat the Warriors. And then now you're going to add Carmelo Anthony, who's basically, he's turning himself basically into a journeyman and thinking that you're going to win the title with him and put all these expectations on him. There's no way in hell he should go to Houston. He should go to LA. He probably already lives in LA. He could mend his relationship with Lala better in LA anyway. And, you know, it's not so much pressure this year to win. You bring Melo to the Houston Rockets, they're going to expect to win this year. And that's not, to me, that's not really a thing to go or expectation to have, because the Rockets were basically 2 games away from going to the NBA Finals. They didn't do it. Now they lose 2 key pieces and you bring in another guy who's not what he once was. No way. No possible way. Melo, if you're listening to me, do not go that route. Hoops Junction. Hoops meets Hoopla.